Now let's talk about your son Clark,
Mm-hmm.
who plays drums. When did you first recruit him as your drummer, and what's the story behind that? And we don't want to say anything bad about him.
I know he might find out what I'm saying. I think he went. Can I address him?
Of course.
It's nearer to my own history, I remember.
Yeah. You went to drums because because you were playing piano, weren't you?
Piano and vibes, and then somebody left a drum kit at
Yeah.
my place when I was 13.
That's right. It was Elton John's drummer left the drum kit at our place.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Clark had an interest because the drummer I had at the time, Brian Spring, Clark liked his playing, and he had access to this kit. So what he would do was to take albums up there, put on the headphones, and play alongside. And I was happy with what he was doing. And then one night, Brian, who could be a bit of a diva, phoned in and said, "I'm leaving the band." So I said, "Okay," with the thought that I'd like Clark to do the gig.
And at this point, how old was Clark? I know Clark
17.
started. Okay.
So I threw him in at the deep end with a gig with the octet. I mean,
Okay.
he knew the charts backwards because he was playing, alongside on the records. So he stepped in the next night and did the gig.
And how did he do?
He did fine. He'll tell you different, but he did fine.
And your playing rapport with him and with your bass player Andy Klender, after playing with all these top billed musicians throughout your career, what is particular about your connection with them? What stands out for you?
They know what I'm going to do, and they know how to cover when I don't.
You once said that you took more out of free music into the mainstream than I did from mainstream into free music.
Yeah.
What did you mean by that?
Well, when I went into free music, I had this vague idea of bringing a sort of very loose structure into it, but I never could find a way of doing that. But what I learned in free music, I can sometimes incorporate into straight ahead music. Again, very hard to explain. It happens of a sudden. I'll be at a point, and it'll just happen. So like I say, these things are very hard to put into words. They happen at the moment, and then it's gone, and you don't know why.
Sure. Sure. You've got a recent release, or you recently put out on Resteamed, your Resteamed label, from your collector series, a live recording with you accompanying Ben Webster.
Oh yeah.
From January 1968
Mm-hmm.
at Ronnie Scott's. What is it in particular that stands out about that performance, and how much more of this material, unearthed material, can we expect from Resteamed?
Well, that is down to Clark. It's his company. But you have more, don't you, Ben?
Yeah, we were very kindly donated these things by somebody who recorded them at the time as bootlegs, but they were very well recorded.
A journalist, correct?
No, not that guy.
Okay.
No, not that one. He's quite well known. It's somebody completely independent. He was a photographer, in fact.
Mhm.
He took the photo on the back of Alice in Jazz Land.
Okay.
So he was a very good photographer, but he had all this expensive setup and just took it straight off the desk. And then he heard I was doing this label and said, have it. I couldn't believe it. And we got like three nights with Ben and many other things. We got one with Freddie, all sorts of things.
So we'll have to stay in touch with Resteve.
It's down to the Ben Webster Appreciation Society in Denmark, who just discovered that we'd released this after 2 years,
Mhm.
after 2 years of us trying to get their permission to do it and receiving no reply at all. They suddenly discovered that we're doing that. We're still waiting for their response as to whether we can go and do some more or not. Like,
Right, because the one you put out is from 2000. You put it out in 2008, so
yeah.
we'll have to keep up with the label on that. Now, your most recent work, Senior Moment, consists of your own compositions, and also features Clark and Andy and of the trio with Simon Allen on saxophone. How much original material do you have up your sleeve still? How many compositions are you sitting on that we may not have heard?
Yeah, I guess there's quite a bit. As a matter of fact, we've just brought out another album, an octet album
Mhm.
called The Later Works,
Mm-hmm.
which features the Hong Kong Suite and the Mandel Suite. I leave it to Clark to decide, what we're going to do. I trust his judgment.
And you have a Grandad Suite.
Oh yeah.
On the album. At 83 years of age, and I hope it's not impertinent for me to mention that. But with the album title and this title of the suite, what are you still striving for in your playing and your composing?
Well, I've stopped composing. I stopped about 10 years ago.
Okay. So what are you still striving for in your playing?
Not to make too many mistakes.
Fair enough.